Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of Keep It Moving Podcast. I am your host, Novelty, and joining me today, as always, is nothing.
You say who it is.
You say who you are. You grown.
That's not how this works. You usually say my
Y'all
name.
know who's to my left. He's always there. Now, how you?
I'm good. My name is Mike B. For those of you who may not know who's to her left, I'm here. Thank you. You're going to have to work on your intro. This season 2, you've been kind of off. Maybe you've been trying to switch it up or do something different.
I'm trying to get you to stop saying what it do.
I didn't say what it do. I didn't say it last time. I wasn't going to say it this time. You could at least say my name. Don't act like you don't know it. Don't act like you ain't said it before. This is season 2. You said my name.
So dirty. That sounds so dirty.
You said my name for a whole season. 100
whole
plus
bunch
episodes.
of seasons.
100 plus episodes. You
Okay,
said my
as
name.
usual, to my left is Mike B.
Hello, people.
We're going to switch it up. We're going to find something new.
I just every time I'm doing something new.
No,
You
no,
going?
I'm
You mean
saying
you?
Yeah, we're going to find something new.
Okay.
I didn't say you. I said we.
I know, but you're including me as if I'm not doing something new.
To me, you're not. It's the same old thing, but whatever.
Oh, so the hate ain't gonna change? No,
Of course not.
right on. We got to keep it authentic.
Yes, keep it honest.
What's going on with you?
Not much. What's going on with you? See, right back into the same old thing. No, not much. I had a normal week. Life's good.
That's good.
Can't complain. I mean, well, I can,
Uh-huh.
but I choose not to right now.
Right on. Sometimes we have to make that conscious decision. You know what? I ain't even gonna do it today.
Yeah, I could complain about a lot of things.
I'm sure we all could, but you come to the realization that sometimes it's not going to make you feel any better. Nothing's going to change, especially not right now.
Just my blood pressure.
Yeah, that might change by the end of the episode. But it's just life. Sometimes you got to deal with it.
It is what it is.
I got some. I can't even say I got some good news, but I got some news the other day from my younger brother. He created a Facebook group and invited all the family to the group. And I'm like, okay, this is weird because he's one of those type of people that every other month he's deleting his Facebook page. So hey, I ain't got time for it. So I'm reluctant to accept any invitation. And then he pops up this photo of a young girl, like a baby. And I'm like, Lord, I got away from Facebook.
A baby?
She was like a year old, looked like a little girl. And so I took the conversation from Facebook.
The little brother that lived here with you?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And so I text him on his phone like, hey, who this baby?
Right.
Like, what's going on? He said, that is 99.9% your niece. I said,
what?
Wow. And I'm looking at the baby. I'm like, she don't even look new. We're like, so where this baby come from? Like, what's going on? And I think I asked just out of, I think it's ritual or habit for people to ask, like, who the baby mama. And he, said, he sent me a picture of what she looks like. I'm like, oh, she's pretty. And that was
Where,
it.
No, you ask who? I ask, where is she?
Who, the baby mama?
Yes.
I don't know.
Where's she been? And why it's a year and you just now seeing a picture? See, y'all don't ask the right questions.
And that was kind of the rabbit hole that we were going to go down at the beginning of the episode, because that's the difference between men and women.
Yeah, y'all don't ask enough questions.
It's not even about asking enough questions. I think it's us not being as involved or as concerned about something that's not my business.
But your little brother is your business.
But he's also a grown man.
I mean, I understand that, but here's the thing: if anything ever happened, God forbid, to your little brother, you are connected to that child.
Not yet. Not yet.
See,
And I think that's how most, a lot of people think. But I feel like when it comes to guys coming up saying that, this is my baby mama or whatever, people don't really, they take it seriously, but it's not really a big deal. And that's what I was.
That's a problem.
That's kind of like a double standard in my opinion, because when women come around saying, this is my baby daddy, or like, you got questions. You want to know,
a lot of questions.
not just you. But I feel like even with me, if one of my female relatives would have said, I'm pregnant or I got a baby, I'm asking questions about who the baby daddy is just in case, we need to roll up.
Okay, back up.
But when it comes to men, you expect
right
them
now,
to have it.
I'm telling you right now, if you ever send me a text with a picture of a baby talking about you 99.9% that's yours, I'm going to have so many questions and you going to answer them. I got to come stand on your doorstep.
I would expect you, as well as Nisha, to just show up.
Yes.
Not even text, just show up. That might be one of those days that my phone rings. Y'all trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, we can have a conversation.
But I don't think guys are really that, like, it's just not my business.
But it is your business. That's what I'm trying to get you to
understand. That's you talking.
But
y'all say
reality.
The same thing about friends and what's going on. Y'all always ask, is my old roommate Joe and his wife, are they expecting a baby yet? I'm like, I don't know. That's not my business.
It's not really our business, but that's concern. That's just
that's stuff that women want to know.
Yeah, that's just being nosy. Quite frankly, I can't even lie about that. But I mean, still, that's my friend. I want to know.
But you're not asking your friend. You're asking me
because you talk to him more than I do. Well, no,
you still have access to him.
I think you talk to him more than I do, but sometimes your response is I'm like, wait a minute now, that didn't make sense. I might talk to him more than you do.
You may because I feel like guys, we can go years without having a conversation, without seeing each other, and everything's still cool. It's not a problem. But you go 2 weeks without talking to your female friends,
it's a problem.
They send it out to search party. Yes, thinking something's going on. It is not that serious.
Concern.
I mean,
you know how many ways y'all die? Do you know?
Okay.
I mean,
I didn't know we were going to go grim.
But I mean, that's the reality of it.
That is the reality.
I have a friend who lives off of, in the inner city, in an area that has a high crime rate. He's lived there his entire life pretty much. And that's where he lives. And the other day, or not the other day, it might have been a few months ago, but somebody died literally on his corner on his block. Mm-hmm. And the first thing I think of is, oh my God, is he alive? I think it's him. Now, dude, like, I wasn't even in town. What are you talking about? But
I can understand that concern, especially these days when so much is happening all the time. Turn on the news, a shooting here, a killing there. So yeah, I can understand that. But now that we're having this conversation, I'm realizing that I don't even know the baby name. And I forgot.
And didn't ask,
I didn't ask. I also didn't ask the baby mama's name. He just sent me a picture.
I want to know her.
She's pretty.
So I want to know her name. I want to know the mama name. I want to know where the hell she been for a year. Why she ain't said nothing. Did he just find out? I want to know it all.
I bet you do. And you have access to him too.
No, because he won't call me back.
Well, they were just over here yesterday. See, when you see him, then you could ask him.
We need to have a discussion. Plus, I want to know how my little cousin. I want to know how my little cousin getting along with her new sister or brother or whatever it is. Yeah, I don't even know what it is. Is it a girl or boy?
It's a little girl, another little girl. And he says that little girl acts just like his older daughter. So
now that's funny.
Yeah,
we need to have a discussion.
Y'all need to have a. That's what you're saying,
yes,
right?
We need to have a discussion.
What's saying we?
And I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about me and him.
Okay.
And then you and I need to have a discussion about your concern for other people.
I am concerned, but like,
no, you're not.
I don't need
the name.
That's a detail I don't need.
My brother, my oldest brother.
I know I'm going to meet her.
My oldest brother called me and said, "Hey, I'm just calling to let you know, my girl is in the hospital. She about to have a baby." I said, "Excuse me?" He said, "My girl's in the hospital. She about to have a baby." I said, "And she been pregnant for how long?" And he's like, 10 months. I'm like, okay. And you just now telling me what the hell's going on? He's like, oh. I'm like, I want to know her name. I want to know what room she in. I want to know this baby name. I want to know how long you know this girl. And he's my oldest brother. He older than I am. And I ran him all the way down.
See, that's just not stuff that we do, a lot of times. As men. I don't know if it's because we're stubborn or we don't think that stuff like that is important to just share daily. Like if you ask, then that's different.
It's a baby. It's not what you had for breakfast. Oh my God. I don't know if we should share that daily. It's a child. It's a living thing.
Yes.
That your inheritance goes to.
Yes. And it's still going to go. It isn't going to change anything. But just ask me. I guess ask me daily. You got a baby on the way. You got a baby on the way.
You gonna get a text every single day.
No, don't do that. Don't do that because I know you will.
Oh my goodness.
It's just how we are.
Okay, I want to meet the baby.
You have access to him
And
to let him
again,
know.
I want to make sure my little cousin like her little sister.
Right on.
So we gonna have to talk.
Right on.
Have some real discussions.
Yeah, y'all can do that.
And
Just don't try to plan it around me.
No, you need to be in these discussions too, because you need to know.
Well, I'm sure you will tell me. You keep me updated.
I keep you updated with my family and
my
yours.
family. Yeah.
Speaking of, how's your grandmother?
She's doing fine. Some reason, well, maybe it's because she's getting older, and I feel like you mentioned something about this, or we talked about your grandmother mentioning kind of like sex talk. But my grandmother has been bringing up like masturbation a lot lately,
my.
and she wasn't talking to me this time. She was talking to my cousin, which is the woman, and I'm like, yes, this makes sense. But I often have to ask, okay, how did y'all get on this? Like, how do we get to these conversations?
I think older people just eventually look at you and say, wow, you're not a kid anymore, you're grown. And my friends are gone. My girlfriends, my sisters and brothers, I don't have anybody else to talk to. So I'm going to talk to you. My great aunt, she pulled me aside one day and says, hey, I need your help with something. And I got a computer issue. I'm like, okay, I go down and help her with her computer issue. And she says, okay, go to this website. And I go to this website and I'm like, these is dildos. What's going on?
Oh, man.
And she's like, I need you to help me buy something. And I'm like, okay. And so she says, so this one says it has a clitoral stimulator. What does this do? And all I'm thinking is, I really don't want to have this conversation with you. But okay. And so it's like killing me.
Wait. Did she buy something?
Yes.
For please tell me it's for a gag gift for a wedding.
No, she says this is for a friend.
Was she the friend?
Well, let me tell you. So I explained to her what everything was and what everything did. And then she bought it and she said, oh, and it comes in a nice little box. And so she says, okay, I'm buying this for my friend. And she bought it and she gets it. And when it comes in the mail, she shows it to me. She says, see, I got it. And it came in this nice little box and da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, okay. She's like, so I'm going to wrap it up and give it to my friend. Well, I haven't seen it. But that day I walked out of her house and I called my mama, my auntie, and all my cousins and said, when she died, y'all go find it in her top drawer.
This might be under the bottom drawer. Oh, my goodness. That had to be uncomfortable.
Are you kidding me? Having to explain what a clitoral
and
stimulator
then assist in the purchase
to my 80-something-year-old great auntie. Oh, yes.
Right on.
It was interesting. So I think that's the only thing I can think of. They get to a point where they don't have anyone to talk to about.
Now that
things.
Makes a whole lot of sense because my grandmother, like the friends that used to come around don't come around anymore. And she used to, one of my aunts, who's like a great aunt, used to go over there all the time and visit, but she lost her husband, so she's been kind of sticking to herself. So yeah, that makes sense. For her,
just don't have that.
Don't have that many visitors. So, but of all things to talk about. That's what's weird to me. Well, we can talk about anything else.
Now, see, my grandmother mentioned her old sex life to me one time. Otherwise, at least your grandmother talks about stuff like that. My grandmother just sits and complains that everybody trying to steal her money.
Well, we talk about that too. I'd rather talk. Remember, I told you she used to always tell me that my aunt was stealing her remote to a TV that my aunt doesn't have. I'd rather talk about that because I know how to handle those conversations.
Well, how about we switch? I'll talk to your grandma about sex. You talk to my grandma about stealing money. Because I'm so tired of hearing who I was trying to steal her money. It isn't even funny. So, anywho, you got a bae for me today?
Actually, I got two. And they're both kind of quick. The first one we've talked about before. And when it was around graduation time, we were talking about billionaire Robert Smith, who gave the commencement ceremony to the Morehouse 2019 graduating class and then told those brothers that he was going to pay off their student loans. Everybody was excited. The news was going around. I wanted a piece of the pie.
I want mine too. I got student loans for real.
And he decided to not only paid off the student loan debt for the students that were there, but also he extended it to their parents.
Their parents' student loans?
Yes.
Oh my God.
I'm just waiting. I said, give it like maybe 6 more months. I'm waiting on what UMKC gonna do. You know, my school. I'm waiting on an alma mater to say, like, you know what? Let us do the
Where
same
all the
thing.
rest of these alums? Come on, y'all.
Where is my piece of the pie? So that's what's up. When you have money, and he's a billionaire, so you got stupid money. And a lot of times when people have stupid money, they do
stupid things.
Stupid things. You know, they may invest, which that's not stupid. You know, you want your money to make money. But when you have so much, every now and then, it's a beautiful thing for you to do something that will help and benefit other people selflessly without being selfish. You know what I mean? So shout out to Robert Smith once again for doing the damn thing.
Woohoo!
The other honoree that we're going to talk about is Miss Dorian Hunter, and I heard that she made history as being the first black woman chef to win on MasterChef.
Cool.
I mean, I didn't know that show was still on.
I didn't know black people didn't win on that show, but woohoo, girlfriend, come cook for me.
Would you eat? Do you see some of the stuff they cook on these cooking shows?
Everybody cook better than me, so yes.
Right on, because we don't want to bring up the wheat noodles and that macaroni.
It was absolutely one time, and you will not let that go. And I have never made them since.
That scarred me for life.
I have never made them since. I've made pork chops. I've made spaghetti
pork chops
and chili.
Were the bomb you made.
I've made red beans and rice and cabbage and
your cabbage was good too.
And
corned beef that was good too.
And you are
what
stuck
I remember
on one item.
I asked you, I said, why does it look like the cheese is running away from these noodles? It was horrible.
I've not used whole wheat noodles anymore. They just don't work with cheese.
Yeah, I saw. The cheese didn't work with it either. But you know what? Shout out to Dorian Hunter, first black woman to win 2019 MasterChef.
Woohoo! Shut it up.
I didn't know we was going to be able to bring up your wheat noodles so soon in the season. I'm going to look for more cooks and
just
opportunities so we can talk. Y'all should have seen. No, we're going to move on.
Yes, we are.
But y'all should have seen it. Anyway, can we talk about snitching real quick?
Snitches get stitches.
That's what they say, and I feel like we've had a conversation about snitching as well, because that's kind of like the unwritten rule of the hood.
I'm telling all
that you don't snitch, you keep quiet, and I'm on the fence with it, because I understand in some instances why some black people or people that grow up in the hood or in like the projects don't snitch, and it's because when they do, and the people they don't get their fair shot at justice. The people who did the wrong, they don't get the same justice, and so you almost don't want to snitch in order to protect them from what the police and what the system is going to do to them, which is much worse than the crime that they committed. You call the police because somebody stole, some shoes or something like that. Police come and kill them, and you feel some type of way. And there's no justice for the police officer who committed that crime. They cover it up all the time. So, in that instance, I understand why some people are hesitant to snitch.
I'm telling.
But in recent news, your boy Tekashi 6ix9ine, which we were talking about earlier in the year, because he was arrested, and a lot of members of the Trey 9 or Trey Wade gang or something like that, whatever the name of the gang was, they went down, and Tekashi 6ix9ine made his mark on society by being a shit talker. Like, he used to talk so much, like anybody that would go up against 50 Cent and like try to go back and forth with him, like, you got some cojones, because 50 will embarrass anybody. 50 he will embarrass anybody. But he was like talking all this gang talk and just basically putting himself out there. And so when the feds snatched him up, people were like, uh-oh. Like, it's serious. And they were charging members of the gang with like drug trafficking and racketeering. And it was a lot. Mm-hmm. But then it came out, earlier in the year that he decided to plead guilty to what his part in it and work with the feds. Well, this week, he's been on
everybody's business.
He's been on the stand testifying and telling on everybody.
I'm like,
I start hearing Cardi B name. I'm like, what does she have to do with anything? I heard Jim Jones' name. I said, well, I'm scratching my head like, what? And so it brought up the conversation about snitching again. And then people feeling some type of way at the fact that he gets the opportunity to snitch on all these people to protect himself, which I feel like anybody in this situation would do.
Right.
But I think my thing would be if he doesn't have to serve any additional jail time or he gets like a slap on the wrist just because he snitched on everybody else as if he wasn't a part of it as well, then I would feel some type of way about that.
And that's his deal.
It reminded me, that particular situation didn't remind me of that. But I'm the type of person where if I see something, especially if you kill somebody or you do something I'm telling. You know, I don't care, which is why I try to not
be around that kind of stuff.
And then not commit crimes because I would tell on myself. And I remember when I was younger, and I told y'all, my grandmother was mean. Oh, she was so mean. And it was this one night, my cousins, they stayed right up the street. They were going skating. And I wanted to go skating, and her ass said no. And I called her all kind of names in my head. Of course, I didn't say it to her face or loud enough I didn't even mumble because I know what a backhand feel like.
Straight across the road.
I know what a backhand feel like. But the next morning, I'm peeking out my window because I can see where my aunt lives and I see my cousins. I can see where they are. And I see police cars and detective vehicles up at my aunt's house. And so I'm confused. I'm like, how did we get here? We went skating last night, partying, and now we got detectives up there. Well, my cousins decided that their ride that dropped them off the night before to go skating didn't come and pick them up quick enough, and there was a post office across the street. So they decided to go into the post office and climb down the postal chute and steal some mail.
That's a federal offense.
You damn right it's a federal offense. It
was just the cops. It was the FBI over there.
Yes. And so I guess they thought that my auntie wasn't going to say anything. She got on that phone so fast and called 911 and told, they had like they found some mail. They had like, I think they had like $100, $100 and something dollars. They found some checks.
Oh.
And she straight snitched on their ass. And I was so glad that my mean ass grandma didn't let me go. And she said she had a feeling. She didn't know what it was, but that's why she didn't want me to go. And I would have been right along with their ass.
Okay, so did they get time?
No, they didn't get in trouble. And the detectives told them, had it not been for your mom, because they recovered all the money and all the check, they recovered everything. Okay. But they were proud of the fact that my aunt,
called,
didn't, snitched on it.
Well, it she taught him a good lesson.
She taught me a lesson. I wasn't even involved.
She taught him a good lesson. So I guess the number one lesson, I ain't never gonna be the one you gonna be able to lie for. That's gonna lie for you.
No. And that's why my relatives don't do anything around me too. And they, because they know. I'm telling.
Black achievement. Your aunt is a man. Because there's a lot of people who wouldn't have done that.
Right. Or they would have just swept it under the rug and tried to hide the what happened. But I'm like, they got cameras. Like, it would have they would have been found out.
Oh, yeah, of course. A post office.
But she said, quick, early in the morning.
I ain't got nothing
She got right on that phone. And she was cussing them out the whole time the detectives were there. They learned their lesson. And again, I learned one too.
Well, speaking of snitches, have you heard about the whistleblower that has basically set and, I don't want to say set, but overheard your president on a call with a foreign government making a deal that he technically is not supposed to make with foreign governments?
I've been hearing it. I've been hearing about it. I don't know the details of it. Maybe that hasn't come out yet.
Well, the details, they're still kind of sparse. What they do know is that 45 was on the phone with the leader of the Ukraine. They believe that what he was trying to do was get them to get dirt on Biden So
that's where that conversation.
Right.
I didn't know it had anything to do with the whistleblower.
Right.
Okay.
And the whistleblower overheard it, and instead of going to Congress with it like he was supposed to, that he went to the
Don't say Washington Post.
No. He went to the Attorney General's office.
Barr? Trump's boy?
I don't know if it was Barr in charge at that time. I don't think it was.
Oh, okay.
But either way, it was still his Attorney General's office, and they shut it down. And they said, no, this is executive privilege. You cannot take this to Congress. So the guy never went to Congress, which is where he was supposed to go initially, because he was making a deal with a foreign government. He's a president making a deal with a foreign government. That is illegal in itself. So now Congress is trying to find out exactly what went on. Like I said, it's a lot of speculation about what happened right now. The only thing they're saying now is that it was the Ukraine, and that was around the time that Giuliani was trying to get dirt on Biden from the Ukraine.
Rudy?
Yes.
Okay.
And
how did this conversation come up recently? Like, did the whistleblower, like, how did we find out about what happened back then?
The Washington Post found out. I don't know if somebody went to the
feel
Washington
like they got
Post,
like
or they
unlimited
picked up
deep pockets, because the Washington Post finds out everything.
Well, I mean, you got to give it to them. Washington Post's been around for a long time.
They have, and they must have some.
They got people I don't want to say people embedded, but they have trust.
Right.
They have people's trust. So they figure, if I go to the Post with this, they are going to tell this story. So somebody told the Post, and the Post ran the story. And when the Post ran the story, then the House got involved, and everybody, the House wants to know what's going on. And so now they're looking up the Attorney General and this department. This is the department that oversees. This department is supposed to oversee all the other departments. It's a fairly new department. It came in around 9/11 or after 9/11. They found the need for this department because all the different agencies that protect the country were not talking to each other. So like the CIA and the FBI were not talking to each other. And because of that, they feel like that's why 9/11 was able to happen. Had they all been talking and sharing information together, then they may have stumbled across what was going to happen in enough time.
Prevented it,
and been able to prevent it. So they created this position. And I think it was Bush that created this position. And so this guy oversees all the other departments, and the only person he reports to is the president. That's the only person he reports to. But for some reason, this department went to the AG first, and the AG shut it down.
So what's the repercussions from that?
Technically, all of this is unconstitutional.
Okay.
But now the AG's department is saying, well, no, this is why we said executive privilege, and this is why it's not happening. So it's getting ready to play out, and we're getting ready to see what happens. But from everything that I've read and I've seen, and all the constitutional, I don't want to say law, because I don't necessarily know constitutional law, but everything I know about the Constitution, this is not, you can't do this. This is the whole point of the two other branches of law or of government is to prevent this kind of stuff. So
I don't feel like they're doing a good job at preventing anything at this point. They're doing a lot of talking, but the executive branch is doing nothing but pushing the bar further and further away towards unconstitutionality. Right. I mean, they do not care.
And my biggest concern is, okay, so when Trump screamed WikiLeaks, if you got anything on Hillary Clinton's emails, and then all that stuff came out, okay, you can sit up and say, well, yeah, he was joking, yada, yada, yada. It just happened. It was coincidence. You can do that all you want to. But now here's incident number 2. We're talking about the next election, and he's already starting to do the exact same thing. This is his playbook now. This, to me, is not coincidence. This is
who he is and how he plays the game.
Right. So are we going to sit here?
But he's been showing us how he plays the game from jump.
Here's a bigger thing. For the people who are so-called Trump supporters, if you are supporting this, know that the next person that comes behind him, you may not support, but you are setting precedent for them to be able to do the same thing.
And why wouldn't they? Why would anybody revert back to trying to play by the rules when this dude can get away with anything?
And he's already basically said, I could shoot somebody and get away with it. He said it.
Before he was elected.
So,
and he's been showing us that he can pretty much do whatever he wants.
I don't know. I can't with this. This is where I have just finally come to the point where if they ain't gonna do nothing about it and you people ain't gonna get out and vote, I'm gonna just live in my house and not leave my house. And when the Lord decide to take me, he gonna take me. Because y'all, I can't. What else can I do? We scream about it every show. Go vote, go vote, go vote. And I'm not saying people aren't listening. I'm not saying our listeners don't vote.
Right. Because we have, a small group of people, and I believe that they understand the importance. I want to believe they hear us when we talk about the importance of voting. Because that's what we talk about all the damn time. Why would they continue to listen if they didn't,
But I mean, I still talk to people why? What's the point? It ain't no reason to. Like, do you not see why? You see you didn't vote last time. Look at what you got. This fool.
Yeah.
So, woosah. Anywho, my second real big problem. Okay, this is my real big problem. I got a bigger problem with this right now.
This is why we need to do video so people can see you doing your neck work and all.
So,
all of that.
Did you hear about Felicity Huffman and her sentence?
Yes, I did.
Okay, now, mind you, I still don't believe in anybody should go to jail for this. I think they should pay, but no jail time.
Right.
Okay. But I got a problem with the fact that
all the black women have already been punished.
Right.
And are still being punished.
No. I got a problem with the fact that he gave her 2 weeks.
Yeah.
If you're going to give her jail time, give her some dang on jail time. Make it something. She needs to understand she did wrong. With 2 weeks. And wait a minute. 2 weeks in a spa. Because from what I hear, she can tan. She can hang out. She can put her feet up. 2 weeks in a spa, kiss my ass.
You don't think they can put their feet up in regular jail?
You can put them up. They might not be able to put them down.
Oh my goodness!
But that poor black woman who didn't take an education from anybody, she didn't put anybody out of a school.
Right.
She didn't take a paid education from somebody. No, she took a free public education seat.
Just in a different district.
In a different district. And she got 5 years, and you going to get this white woman 2 weeks. I want to call her so many names right now. Lord, I do. But I know it's wrong because I know she's not the problem.
Right.
The system is the problem. This is not okay. I don't have a problem with, quite frankly, like I said, I don't think she needed to get jail time. I do think she needs to pay. I do think she needs to pay for the education of at least one person. She needs to pay for somebody's education, along with whatever she paid for her child. She took something away from somebody. This is not a victimless crime, because what happens is the person that was supposed to go, that seat could have went to, may have really needed it, and it literally could have changed their life.
Yeah.
This person could now be going working a minimum wage job, robbing Peter to pay Paul for the rest of their lives because of an opportunity that you took away. It is not a victimless crime. There is a victim. You just don't know that victim, and you don't know what that victim's potential could have been had they been given the opportunity
that you took.
But I don't think it needs to be jail time. But if you gonna give her some jail time, you gotta come on 2 weeks. She's preparing for her sentence. She preparing for her vacation.
She got an overnight bag.
Right.
And I'll be surprised if she even, does the full 2 weeks.
Wow. And she get to take an overnight bag. Are you kidding me? I got a problem with that.
She'll probably still be stressed out.
I'm stressed out. And she
but
crying and carrying
it's
on.
It's the way the system is designed against us.
She not going to Leavenworth.
Nope.
She not gonna be up there with Pookie and Juju. She gonna be sitting right there playing tennis, making Martha Stewart brownies for lunch. Come on.
Can she have visitors?
I'm sure they might even be able to spend the night. She probably got a phone in her room, or no, and I said room, not cell.
Yeah.
She got a window with a view. Might even have a balcony.
I can picture it. She on a cruise right now.
Toilet.
She on a cruise.
She got her own little bathroom. You know she ain't sitting on a steel commode.
Trying to make some
sharing a shower with 15 people.
Nope. She probably got a personal shower. Or they come and get her once all the other ladies have taken their shower for her private shower time.
She get more than an hour in the yard. She ain't eating slop for lunch. She Martha Stewart's food. She Martha Stewart made the menu.
You feel some type of way?
I'm feeling really yes. Because has she been? It's two things that come to play in this. One is green and one is white. Has she been black and broke? She would be under the jail.
Yep.
But she a little rich white woman, so I gotta do 2 weeks in jail.
Like she's the victim.
She got cred now. All you did was give her street cred. Are you kidding me?
I done been to the yard.
I played tennis in the yard.
Now she's gonna be checking the other rich white women. Anyway, I got one more story. Did you have something?
I'm done.
Okay.
I can't. I'm over it.
There's a McDonald's in Sacramento. Evidently, I think we've been knowing about the homeless situation in like California, period. A lot of people go to California to make it. And then it's so expensive and they end up, what's the name of that? Is it Skid Row? It's not Skid Row. Where it's like just a row of homeless people and it's like a bunch of tents in California.
I don't know.
I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. But clearly there's a homelessness issue in California where there's a Sacramento McDonald's that's trying to curb homelessness homeless people loitering outside the restaurant by playing this like loud, strange sound on the speakers outside the restaurant.
So they don't want customers either.
Well, I don't think they thought that part through because the article that I'm reading from CBS 13 in Sacramento, they're saying that customers are saying, like, I'm not going to the drive-thru, I'm not going inside. You know, I'd rather go to a quieter restaurant instead of having to deal with this loud, weird noise. Even now, the city says that it's within the legal limits as far as the decibel, the volume of it. But why would you want to deal with that? And if I'm homeless and I ain't got nowhere to go, and this is the spot, that ain't gonna bother me.
Why not, instead of wasting time and losing business, why not build tiny homes and give them a place to go? Why not give them bus fare back to their hometown? Because a lot of them are there because they can't get back home. And I'm not saying send your homeless to another state by any means. I'm saying send them back to their hometown where they have family that they can depend on.
That makes sense.
And, help them get back on their feet.
On their feet, yeah.
Or build them tiny homes. I like the little tiny home idea. I'll never live in a tiny home. My home is tiny enough, and it's
I think I could do it.
I know I couldn't. I'm not even going to sit here and lie to nobody about it.
I think I could.
I could not decorate a tiny home.
If you in a tiny home, you ain't got to worry about nobody bothering you as far as company.
Oh, yes, you do.
Who?
Me on nice days, we going to sit outside, honey. I'm coming to visit. Don't ever think you going to get away from me. I am coming to visit.
Even in my tiny home.
Even in your tiny home. The only place I won't visit you.
Don't say jail.
Is jail. I ain't going to visit you and I ain't going to write you. I'll take your call.
I think it would depend on what I'm in jail for. But if I'm falsely accused of something, I think that you would come visit and you would write.
I would come and try to get you out.
Yeah, right on. But sometimes that doesn't work.
Yeah, no, I didn't mean illegally. I meant legally.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying sometimes getting out and being able to show the truth doesn't work.
I would spend the rest of my days trying to get you out if you was in there.
That is what you call a friend right there.
We people
I'm so proud of you.
I care. Just like I'm going to call, and if you show me a picture of a baby, we're going to have a long discussion. I'm going to come get you out. Okay? I'm going to work with you. That's real right there.
I appreciate
that. But if
that.
you in there for something you put your butt in there for, don't expect
stealing
a call.
Boxes.
Don't expect a letter. Don't expect to see me.
Right
now, you can call me, but don't call collect. You better call me on somebody else's time.
You ain't putting no money on my books.
I'm not putting on you. But no.
Come on.
No. If you
I did was take a few boxes from the back of the Walmart, and they felt some type of way about it.
As long as you in Walmart jail, nope. Now, if they send you to Leavenworth for some Walmart boxes, then I might have to try to come and help you out. I might not take your first 10 calls.
You would blame me.
Because you shouldn't have been stealing boxes.
They look free. They outside in the back of the Walmart. It ain't like it was like
it ain't
shoes.
nothing about Walmart that look free. They put their little pallets out there, and on the side it's a big old sign that says, "Do not touch. These are the property of Walmart."
Oh, really? I thought those was free too.
No, they are not. Walmart don't let nothing go for free. They might let it go for cheap, but not for free. And lately, it ain't been too cheap.
Oh, did I tell you that they opened up that Aldi's right up the street from my house? I told you they had closed down. It looks on the outside. I ain't been inside, but on the outside, it looks really good. It's like a super Aldi.
Them two aisles.
What 2 aisles?
It's just 2 aisles.
Oh,
They got random stuff in it.
Give me an ice maker and some beach chairs and some lawn equipment.
Just random stuff. I mean, I got a wheelbarrow out of there.
You know, I've been thinking about your ice maker too. I think
like
I might,
my little ice maker. Okay, anywho, you gonna make me sing Baby Shark?
You almost did it.
I don't even have kids.
Yeah, that's all I wanted to say. That's all I had.
They could build tiny houses. They could do something to help the homeless population versus trying to
shun them or get rid of them.
And that's what they get. That's why they
lost
I feel
business. Like as far as the business is concerned, you kind of understand where they're coming from. As far as loitering, period.
Right.
You know, there's people out because
period.
that could drive away. You know.
Right. That's period, and I understand. But when you know that people are there because they don't have much of a choice, then your decision needs to be different.
You remember that one time, I think it was at a fast food restaurant. I don't want to say McDonald's just in case it wasn't. It was a fast food restaurant, and it was a person that fell asleep in there, and one of the workers took a glass of ice water or something and poured it on them, and to force them to get out. I think we talked about this. This was season 1.
That's why I always see videos of people fighting at Walmart. Because I'd be one of them people, if you pour water on me, just wake me up and say, you got to go. You ain't got to pour water on me. That's just rude.
That's assault.
Yes, it is.
That's fighting water.
That's just rude.
But some people just don't care about others. They don't.
That's sad. Look, I'm going to post something. I got a list the other day, and it was like 100 things to do to be kind to someone or something like that. I say we all do this Be Kind challenge, and we do one thing a day and see if we can't get through the list. So I'm going to post it. I mean,
it's worth a try. Even if you can't do it every day, it's still, I guess, 100 things 100 ideas you can do.
No, it might be 10. So let me not look. But I think it said 100. For some reason, I'm seeing 2 zeros and not 1, but we'll see when I post it.
Had you been drinking?
No, I was sober when I saw it. I don't remember if it had 2 zeros or 1 behind it now, but whatever it is, just something, just be nice.
But the being nice to somebody is so simple.
And honestly,
you don't even have to give people anything physical. You don't have to give them money. All you have to do sometimes is smile or say hello.
But to me, the reward is their reaction. Like, there's this one lady that she comes to my gym in the morning, and she's a fairly older lady, and she has a cane, and she walks very, very slow. Mm-hmm. And normally the gym manager comes out, and he goes and gets her from her car and
helps her
inside. Well, he's out of town this week, so I noticed that instead of him helping, his staff does it now.
Oh, right on.
And I'm like, wow, number one, you've actually instilled some good things in your staff.
He probably didn't even think they were watching or paying any attention,
so
because he would just do it.
I can't wait to tell him, because it was just amazing to me to see that. And then I saw him coming, and I was on my way out. Now, I could have been in my car and gone by the time she got to the door, but I just stood there and held the door open for her. And she just looks up and says, "Oh, thank you so much." And just in that makes me feel good.
It was a simple gesture.
Everybody else, but it was just, I'm holding the door, and just her reaction is what made me feel good. No money involved, no nothing, but it made her day, and that in turn made my day.
Right.
So it's just,
that's when it is worthwhile. Right. Now, if she would have came out there, it's like, that's what I thought,
then I might have let that door hit her in the butt. But
thankfully, there are a lot of people who are appreciative of the little things. Yes.
See, to me, most people are. you get a handful of crazoids. Like my little brother told me one day, I had the door open for some girl, and she gonna look at me and roll her eyes and walk in the door. I wanted to slam it on her head. I was like, okay, I hope you didn't do that. He's like, no.
But you feel like
but he's like, I wanted to. I said, but did you hold the door open for the next girl? He said, of course.
Yeah, it's like,
He's
even
of
me,
course.
I feel some type of way when I say, hi to somebody, especially at work. Like, we see each other all the time. So I say hi or, good morning or something. And they just look at you like, Like, and I want to take my good morning back so bad.
Now, I've gotten a few good mornings and been like, and I come
You
back.
say,
I come back later and apologize.
Oh,
because
thank you.
I'm just not up.
Oh, okay.
And I know that's what it is. For me, I'm not awake.
Okay.
And I'm not firing on our cylinders yet. Especially to the gym crew. I'll tell you, it's been a few times she come in here looking like, oh good God, why do I have to be here? But by the time I leave,
what time is
I'm
it?
up. It's 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
I
and
get
then
up
you
at
know
7,
you have to,
and I'm
work
coming
out.
in. The very first thing I'm doing in the morning is working out. I get up, I watch the news, and if Trump ain't acted a fool, I'm not up. It's usually when he acts a fool, he gets me fired up, and I go, woo-hoo-hoo. But if he ain't acted a fool, I'm not up. And so I'm just kind of struck. I mean, they tell me, oh, you look so excited when you come in here in the morning. I'm like, y'all, if y'all don't shut up, I'm going to flip off all of y'all. And so I get in there, and they'll be like, good morning. And halfway through my workout, I'm like, that was so rude. And I'll stop it. Okay, I'm up. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Good morning.
Good morning. And then we'll sit and we'll chit chat. But I'm not a morning person. I've never been a morning person. No, my aunt used to get up. Well, she would come. She worked nights, so she would be going to bed as I'm getting up to leave, and so she's up and still bouncing around. And good morning, and just chit. And I'm looking at her with daggers, like, why the hell are you talking to me? I don't want to talk to you. Mm-hmm. And one day she said, if you don't wipe that look off your face and say good morning in the morning. Good morning. I don't think the look went nowhere. And finally, I think I know I was grown. I was good and grown. And she did it to me one morning. And I was like, you know what? If you ain't figured out after all these years, I am not a morning person. I do not want to talk to you. You don't want to talk to me. I don't want to talk to nobody.
Yeah, it's not personal. It's
just don't say nothing to me until noon.
Leave me alone. Leave me alone.
So, and I'm still that way. I'm just not a morning person. But once I'm up and I'm moving, like even during the weekends when I don't go to the gym, you really probably shouldn't talk to me until noon. I'm not up. I lay in my bed. I may be up and out of bed, but I don't even talk to my dog. So when she gets to barking at me and I'm screaming, shut up. And I know she's
trying to go outside though, right?
No, she goes outside, and she got this bad habit of when I let her in, then she runs in the house, she turns around, she looks at me, she gets kind of down, and she just starts barking.
Like she ready to play or something?
Yeah, and I'm like, if you don't leave me the hell alone, go. I'm not up. I'm just not up. By about noon, 1 o'clock, then I'm ready to have a conversation.
And you love to talk too, so.
Hey, once I get started, I don't stop.
Right on.
But anywho, on that note, I'm going to say goodbye to the people.
You gonna stop talking?
Because I'm gonna talk to you for the rest of the night.
Oh my goodness!
Don't you just love me?
I do. Yes.
That's all that matters. Good night, everybody.
Peace.